Okay, it is 6 p.m. on November 13th. We're going to call the November board meeting to order. Noting the absence of Larry Herman and Stacy Masrick. Please stand for the pledge. Sorry. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I need a motion to approve the regular board meeting minutes of October 11th, 2023.
So moved.
Second.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Lickling?
Yes.
DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Herman? Motion carried.
I need a motion to approve the November 2023 expenses as submitted.
So moved. Second.
Flores?
Yes.
Lickling?
Yes.
DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, next up is the treasurer's report.
All right, exciting news. Balance in the Super Now account at the end of October was $6,104,395.92. We had outstanding checks of $36,309.12. Carryover payroll expense of $38,969.88. And insurance credit for $30, leaving the adjusted bank balance at $6,029,146.92. Lunch program balance, $39,278.06. Impressed fund, $5,000, leaving the total at $6,073,424.98. The investments totaled $4,248,229.25, leaving the balance of all funds as of 10/31 at $10,321,654.23. October receipts totaled $943,364.79. Expenses $1,416,780.71. The fund balances: education fund $6,942,675.17. Building fund $835,155.08. Transportation fund $1,082,684.24. IMRF $259,216.95. Working cash $265,677.42. Tort fund $355,706.54. And life safety $580,538.83. Interest earned in October was $21,321.86. We had quite a few deposits from the state. State aid, $314,122 even. School lunch, $21,689.39. Regular transportation, $94,405.51. Special ed transportation, $58,484.33. State free lunch, $42.04. Title I, $46.37, and special milk, $4.01. And that was multiple deposits. We had the 8th distribution on the real estate for $289,510.56. Fund balances are in the packet.
Anyone have any questions? No? Oh, I need a motion to approve the treasurer's report as presented.
So moved.
Second. Lickling?
Yes.
DeChenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, and then we have in our audience some members to recognize for our state qualifying cross-country. Do we have the coach?
We have a couple coaches.
Okay. Do you want to kind of stand up and speak on their season or your season?
I go first.
Go first.
Come on. Oh. Stand up, Carolyn. So I only have one of the riders here today. Erin Martinez with Alberta was unable to make it. She had to work. Erin had an amazing season. This is her repeat. She went to state her, actually repeat, I guess we'd say, conclude junior high. Because you went
Wasn't she high?
Twice. Yes, so she started running 7th grade, went 7th grade year, then repeated and went 8th grade year, came here and went her sophomore year, and then went again here her senior year. So looking forward to her future collegiate running, as we were just discussing. So she's done an amazing job. We should be all very proud of her.
All right, we have both of our runners here. Adrian Sandoval for the boys, qualified for state for the first time. As I told many people, his goal when I started coaching him in August was make it to state. That was it. There was never a moment that wasn't his goal. So it was cool to see him achieve that and finish very strong. Ended up 89th out of 230 runners at state. It was a strong showing. Went out there and worked hard with one shoe on. All very proud of you. Great job with it. Yep, you had a great job.
This is my second year coaching Rachel. Her first year, she was our little 6th grader. She excelled. She made it to state, and I think you placed like low 100s. I mean, it was good for a 6th grader, but then 7th grade, our goal was make it again and go for the medal. I think she started winning every single race. Our 3rd race, she won every single one. She became a sectional champion. That has not been a thing since I think 2008. So that was exciting to see. I think I cried for her at that moment. And then state, she placed 28th, so she's about 4 places away from the medal. So I hope her goal next year is top 15 at state. Adrian, I'm excited to see you go to high school. Sad to see you leave.
Sorry,
Rachel,
we're
I'm
excited
for
together.
you.
Okay, at this point, if you guys don't want to stay, you don't have to. I'll go ahead and give you that chance to escape real quick.
Congratulations, everybody.
Congratulations.
Great job.
No offense to you, Mr. Michaelescu.
I have no request for public comment, so moving on to our audit presentation.
All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of the board. My name is John Michaelescu, audit firm Yes Michaelescu. I'm going to briefly go over the audit results with you tonight. Before I jump into the audit results, I'm going to give you a quick background overview for the audit. We came out over the summer. We invaded the office and examined all the records. We confirmed all cash and investment balances. We confirmed that all bond payments were made, which are now fully paid off. We confirm all monies passed through the state to make sure they're recording the right amounts, the right funds. We also look at the property taxes to make sure they're allocated to the right funds as well. We test expenditures, not all of them on a test basis. We look at to make sure they're the right amounts, right funds, and for the proper vendor. We do similar testing for payroll and activity funds. When we're done with that, we form what we call a conclusion or an opinion, which is on page 1 of the audit. Your district received a clean or unmodified opinion, meaning that the financials and all the figures are properly stated. It does say on there that adverse opinion, however, that's if we were to report on the full accounting method, but we report under what AD allows us to, therefore we get a clean opinion on that. The following report is the report on internal controls. Along with testing the financials of the district, we also test to make sure that transactions are properly approved, meaning they follow the direct course from the building all the way through the business office and then ultimately approved by the board. We did not find any deficiencies with the internal controls, meaning that all of the procedures are in place to ensure proper amounts are being spent. Pages 8 and 9 of the report, this is your statement of, sorry, I jumped ahead. 767 is your balance sheet. This is by fund, and all these amounts are as of June 30th. The treasurer was reporting this earlier, just through today. This is back rearview mirror. At June 30th, you had cash of $8.9 million, activity fund cash of $149,000, and we also list each amount by fund. Pages 8 and 9, this is called the statement of revenues received and expenditures dispersed, otherwise known as an income statement. Probably the two most important pages in the whole audit. It lists by fund the revenues received and the disbursements, which is your expenditures. We also do this by fund, starting with the educational fund. Overall, 19.6 was received, 24.1 went out. There was a reduction of 4.4 million Most of that was from the building projects. So we ended the year with, and as of June 30th, with 9.1 million of fund balances. All the footnotes that are required are included here. I'm going to point out the major ones. On page 37, we list the cash on hand at year end. And we point out there is that all the cash was either collateralized or insured, meaning we had no exposure to any credit markets. Pages 38 shows your general fixed assets, which is all your tangible fixed hard assets. We had a big increase in that with the building projects. That's followed by all the required pension footnotes, the TRS, THIS, and IMRF. All required disclosures are included. Page 47 highlights the fact that the general obligation bonds can afford to be paid. Pages 54 and 55 highlight your EAV. It compares your levy from this year to the year before, showing a number of trends. Page 57 of the report includes the Illinois Grant and Accountability and Transparency Act, which is another layer of reporting we do to the states. It has been properly disclosed, so you are in compliance with that state mandate. And along with the report, or the audit, we also report two other letters. One's called Communication with Those in Governance. That's my firm communication to the board here that we did not have any disagreements during the audit. We did not source anything. And we also attach our adjustments on the last page there. Mostly cosmetic in nature. We need to get your set of records in basically the same chart of accounts as ISB's. And that's basically what those are doing there. We did issue a management letter this year. That's our firm's way of communicating any things that we wanted to point out. The transportation fund did over budget. We found that to be very common. I think my firm is 21 schools, only one did not go over budget, transportation fund. And actually that school walks, there's no buses. So basically it's 100% went over. The costs were just astronomical this year, hard to track. That was the only finding we had for a big district like that. So pretty good job on the business office. The final report we do is the Illinois State Board of Education AFR form. It's essentially an Excel version of the audit. I won't go over every page of that. Just want to point out that the profile score of the school this year did drop to 3.2 from 3.65 last year, and that was only due to the building projects. Those were, now that all the ESSER money's kind of spent, I expect you guys to jump right back up to the recognition status of the next year. Any questions with the audit or any other reports that we issued?
I would like to note that this was Katie's first audit, and John was very gentle. She was. I just want to say that she did a very, very nice job with her first year, taking over the books and making sure that the district continued to move forward with everything. And as John noted, she did a pretty good job. So I thank your firm for the audit, and again, thank Katie for her hard work.
If any questions do arise, feel free to contact me.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the fiscal year 23 audit as presented.
So moved.
Second?
Blickling?
Yes.
Diachenko? Yes. Hanson?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores? Yes. Motion carried.
Okay, up next, staff reports. Ms. Black.
Good evening, everyone. Just wanted to highlight a couple of things in my board report. First of all, we did have planned for our first quarter PBIS celebration to have the bounce houses come out. I'm not sure if everyone remembers those couple of weeks in the middle of October, but they were very cold and very rainy, and that didn't happen. But I do want to say a huge thank you to the Beecher and vets because the last minute, I was trying to figure out what to do in a timely manner, and we played all-school bingo. The kids loved it. We got around their bingo machine, and it was really fun. I wasn't sure if they were going to like it, but they were very excited about it. So that was fun. Obviously, we didn't use the big numbers with the little kids. We did some bingo with the little kids, but it was very fun.
Also, we had over 90% of our parents come to conferences. There are a few stragglers that we haven't been able to get in contact with, and our teachers are still working hard to make sure that they at least have a telephone conference with all of the parents. Math. Looking at math series, we did add another series that we are looking to pilot to Eureka Squared and iReady. Envisions is another series that some teachers have colleagues in other districts who use and had some positive feedback. I looked at ed reports, it's all green, so I've been in contact with that company to get some pilot materials and start looking through those. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, thank you.
Dr. Kwasny.
I wanted to start off with an SRO update because I know that was asked last month. So SRO Hansen has been coming into the classrooms. He's been coming in for help and teaching some lessons. I was able to make it in and included a picture as well, talking about making responsible choices as well as goal setting and regulating emotions. And so we'll be doing that every quarter, along with some other lessons as well, hopefully. I wanted to also talk about briefly our staff and our IAR data analysis that we were doing during the last SIP day. I felt that it went really well. We separated the staff into content areas and had everyone look over all of our strengths, areas for improvement to recognize those different gaps. We're also sending our math team to a workshop, which I think will be really beneficial. We've been looking into a new series, math series, along with the elementary to see what would best support our needs. We did have one rep come in already from iReady, and she said she would come back to kind of go over everything because, there's a lot of information, so she could break it down and actually show us and take us through everything because she was only with us for about a class period. So we really want to make sure that we make the right choice in regards to that. A few other things I just wanted to highlight were that the 7th graders went to Camp Manitoba. It was very, very, very cold, but they still had a great time. I think the staff complained more than the students. They had a great time. But hopefully it'll be warmer next year. We'll get our dates in sooner so we can have it a little bit earlier. Although, you never know how it's going to be, but hopefully the weather will be nicer next year. And one other thing I wanted to mention is that we had our first quarter reward celebration. The kids had ice cream and watched movies, so they enjoyed that. And yeah, it's always fun to have them be rewarded for meeting their behavioral, attendance, and their academic expectations. And we hope to go off campus for maybe not the next one, but possibly, but definitely in the 4th quarter as well. Did anyone have any questions? Thank you.
Mr. Meyer.
When I got this job, Dr. Gahan said there was an individual on staff that worked harder than anybody else. So I just wanted to make sure that I give him a little pat on the back. So Steve Sarsany is, we received a banner and then a certificate. And just quickly on the certificate, it's a 2023 Recognition of Excellence Certificate for Financial Aid, the FAFSA forms. We had 65% and above is like bronze, then 75, I don't know if it's silver, and then it's like gold, platinum, something like that. So we actually had 67%. The state of Illinois had 66%. The United States, the states, other than Illinois, was 58%. So he was pretty happy with this. And then this wonderful banner, by the way. So we're gonna maybe put that outside by the other ones, and we'll see. But Steve does a nice job. He is going to get even better than 65%. Now 65%, it was like 58 out of 84 kids or 86 kids, whatever we had that equals 67%. But everybody has to do it. So you can either opt out or you fill out the form. So we may never get 100%, we may never get whatever because parents can just opt out. So, but he was very proud of that and was very proud of his little banner. So with that, November 8th, we had 23 families also virtually attend that FAFSA meeting. He talks about it's simplified, there's changes to the new platform, and then we are going to have an additional workshop in January here in the library at 6 to 8, doesn't have a date yet, with assistance in filling out the forms. because everything's not finalized. It's still, I don't want to say kind of a mess, those may be Steve's word. Things just, it's not where it needs to be. It's shorter, but the government's not ready, shocking. I mean, but it's not prepared, he said. There will be Spanish help too, which is important as well. So I wanted to make sure that Steve does a nice job, so I wanted to make sure that people were aware of that. And then 2 things about kids. Our career area, our Kankakee Area Career Center, our cosmetology student of the quarter was Madison Kelly. So that was kind of cool. And then lastly, our music department, we had the Concert for the Hungry, we had RBC Choral Concert, and then this Saturday we have ILMEA, which we have 2 kids going, Cadence Johnson in band and Elliot Garcia in choir. They go to Elmer's to join 125 other students. So I thought that was good as well. So one about staff, a couple about students, and just thank you for who you are.
Yes, Mr. Sarsny does a very nice job on the basketball. We would have been lost.
And he said and it used to be so long, but now it's like, half the questions or something, and I'm not speaking very well to this, but he said it's cut down a lot, but I don't know, did you attend
No,
virtually?
it was Fall Sports Awards.
I know you did, and so did Mr. Palmisano. He said he tried to get on later, so
Yeah.
it was just, but we're gonna try to do something else, but it's
I've heard that.
it's not ideal, but it will be. They'll get the kinks, they'll get the kinks out and it'll be fine. Maybe.
Opens December 1st.
I'm sorry?
Opens December 1st.
Yes, that's what he said. And then something about, I thought he said something, there was a December 8th, I don't know why that date sticks in my mind, but he said sometime in January, when everything gets hopefully a little more cleaned up, that he'll have another night where he can answer questions, people can come in, so. Thank you.
And Dr. Gaham.
So a few things I'll touch on for you all. Actually, basically my report is throughout the board agenda itself, so I'll talk about those as we get to them. But as a district, we took part in an EBC wellness program. It helped with our insurance rates, sure, but it was also a way to try to get some staff members together to get exercise. And so we had 27, does that sound right? 27 staff members take part in a month-and-a-half long step challenge. Ms. Gersh was in on it. I was in on it. None of my administrators were in on it.
We were just asking about how we can do so much better.
So I can tell you, I don't have the final number yet, but the top 3 earners were Mrs. Granisey, Mr. Smolson, and Ms. Dunlap. So I believe Ms. Granisey is going to win the overall, but I don't want to say that officially until,
Smolson better step up. No, I'm just kidding.
quite literally.
Oh.
Step up. So,
I feel like that.
I'm sorry?
Isn't part of her job running? I feel like that's.
She's a science teacher, so,
But she does cross country.
yeah, no, I get it, same with Smolson, she's cross country, and Miss Dunlap's a PE teacher. Mr. Schwarzentraub also is very high on her as well.
Both goals are eliminate them.
Right. So I'm happy to say that Ms. Gersh and I were middle of the pack, we were not dead last.
That's right.
That's because some people didn't fill out every week, but I'm just saying. The Illinois State Report Card did come out. If you read the front page of the Vedette, they kind of gave you a very, very, very brief synopsis of the surrounding schools, including ourselves. But one of the things that I do want to highlight is they did talk about our adequacy target. I know that was a big thing that I continue to talk about throughout the referendum conversation. And the Vedette did point out that we are at 64% last year. We were this over 15 million is what is expected. We earned about 9.2 in taxes, so we're at 64%. Next year with the levy, we'll be up at around $11 million, which puts us about 70% adequacy. And for note, Piatone is still at 104. So I'm very grateful for the referendum. I'm very happy that it passed. But I will continue to put it out there that does not mean that we are in the clear. It does not mean we spend money willy-nilly. So I just want to make sure that it is clear. We'll have more information for you. The principals will do their assessment presentation probably in January. We'll give them a little bit more time because with Thanksgiving break and the Christmas break, holiday break, I didn't want to put too much stress on them, especially Mr. Meyer. He's very stressed all the time. Yes, sir. So, but like I said, everything else that's in my report we'll kind of touch on throughout the agenda. Is there anything specific other than that?
Did we have any, yeah,
Oh, yeah, zero foils. Sorry, I even have it
I'm just
listed.
making sure. Okay, next up is committee updates. Just wanna go around?
Sure.
Okay.
So I was not able to make the PTO meeting this evening, because it's like right before our meeting. And I was elbow deep in homework, but, they just did the Spirit Wear fundraiser, which did very well. And they are bringing back the, holiday shop this year for the students. So, that's, I don't remember which, I wanna say it's the 4th through the 8th, maybe 8 through 12. The kids get to shop, but it's coming up.
The booster club actually met last night. So the Boo Fest was good. It rained like the last hour or so, which kind of killed it a little bit, but they did really well. There was a lot of people. I think they probably had fun. They will be doing things during basketball season. I know they have a fundraiser, and they'll be selling the Bobcat Pride signs, so if people want them, they can come to any of the, no boys games and probably girls games. So.
No updates.
Yeah, because you guys only meet a
You
couple
met,
times a
yeah,
year.
so January,
Yeah,
I think, is our
yeah.
next meeting, so.
KCC meets Carves. Sorry, Carves.
It's all good.
Tomorrow or Wednesday?
It's tomorrow.
It's in my calendar. We'll be going. So I don't have any updates because they only meet every quarter. So.
The Beecher Education Foundation meeting is this evening, so I will probably not be attending because of the conflict. But I hope to get an update. I'm sure that they are planning their next event away. They had some really fun ideas for their dinner, and they sounded absolutely delicious. So.
Old business. So state small maintenance grants.
We need a formal motion. We had many conversations about using the $50,000 matching grant on the elementary school roofs. We didn't actually formalize any motion, or you all haven't formalized a motion, so it's on there for you to formalize. And that way I can submit it to the state saying that on November 13th, you all approve that to be the use of the grant.
Okay, so need a motion to approve the small maintenance grant for the elementary school roofs. So
Second.
Diachenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Belt?
yes.
Flores? Yes. Flickman?
Yes.
Motion carried.
We're still looking probably about 160 for that, so out of pocket about 110.
Executive session, yes.
I have no reason for it unless there's something that, we talked about personnel on Thursday, so there's nothing new from there.
And everyone was there? Here? No. Do we need to go to executive to talk about what we talked about in personnel? Because I don't think Ashley wasn't here, right? Yeah. So do we need to update her, or?
If you're referring to the SRO position in conversation, that would be open session.
Yeah.
I would be happy to provide that. But if you're talking about specific
Well,
individuals.
that's what I'm asking. Do we need to talk about job for, okay, nope, I didn't think of it. Okay.
I don't think so.
Okay. I was just verifying.
No, you're good.
Okay, new business. Are there any employment issues that need to be handled individually, or can they stay grouped together? I guess there's only actually like the kind of individual, so. it works.
Letter E, I through 1 through 4 are your employment. So A is just a retiree.
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay. No? Oh, okay. So I need a motion to approve the retiree compensation for junior high teacher, Jeanette Stein.
So moved.
Second.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Flickman?
Yes.
Diachenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Motion carried.
I need or does anyone have any questions before we make a motion on the fiscal year 24-25 school calendar that was in the packet?
As I noted in my report, it is 85% 5 semester 1 and 91 semester 2. It's going to start on a Wednesday next year and on a Friday, I think it's June 2nd, maybe, June 1st, June 2nd. We still have the emergency snow day that butts up to Casimir Pulaski, so I'll provide the students with a 4-day weekend. However, if we do have a snow day somewhere along the line, that would be the first day we take.
Do you ever, I just have a question on how you guys do this. Do you guys ever offer an A and a B and then you look at it, or is just usually just one calendar that gets approved? Or?
So what we do is the union provides 3 members, one from each building that comes, we have a conversation. I tell them some of the things that we've done in the past, some of them, as a superintendent, some of the things I'm going to object if they want to move around. And then they bring up some things, hey, this is what our staff would like to see. One of those being the Wednesday start instead of a Tuesday start. I also gave them the option with spring break because it's a late Easter next year. So they went back and had a few of those conversations and then.
Just kind of hash it out as you go.
Yep. And then the other day they send back the feedback and then we kind of put everything together. It's pretty amicable.
Okay, so I need a motion to approve the fiscal year 24-25 school calendar as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Flores?
Yes.
Blickling?
Yes.
Yushchenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Does anyone have any questions on the tentative fiscal year 25-26 school calendar? That was also in the packets.
Just for reference, it's always been they've always tried to do 2 years. Me as a new superintendent, I didn't want to jump into 2 years of promises. So this is, quite frankly, the exact same calendar a year later. This will not be a formal acceptance of it. We will have to do a formal acceptance next year. However, at least you guys have an idea of what the plan is. So if anyone were to ask, yes, we'll start on a Wednesday. Yes, you have, that year we'll have a election, things like that.
Okay, I need a motion to approve the tentative fiscal year 25-26 school calendar as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Blickling?
Yes.
Yushchenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores? Yes. Motion carried.
I need a motion to acknowledge the resignation of elementary special education aide Allison Kerr.
So moved.
Second?
Blickling?
Yes.
Yushchenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Need a motion to approve the employment of elementary school special education aide Nicole Tepper, elementary school teacher aide Emily Hayhurst, high school assistant boys basketball coach Norman Wiley, elementary school teacher for the school year 24-25 Emily Reel.
So moved.
Second.
Yushchenko?
Yes.
Hanson?
Yes.
Belt?
Yes.
Flores?
Yes.
Blickling?
Yes.
Motion carried.
Does anyone have any questions on the clear residency verification software? I know we talked about it at personnel, but not everyone was quite there, so.
I will gladly have a conversation. So when I went to, and again, there's a very big difference when you go to these conferences. When I was down at IASA's superintendent conference, or even this weekend when I go to Triple I, there's a big difference from me walking around, looking at all these booths and all these salesmen and then telling me all the wonderful things they can do, and me sitting at a table with a bunch of superintendents having a lunch, and they are talking about their residency programs, and one guy brings up, hey, I use this program, I used these 3 before, I now use this program, it's phenomenal, it helps us out tremendous. And somebody next to him goes, actually, we just adopted that as well. So that program is called Clear. When I got back here, I found out HF actually uses it, did not know that. And Troy School District, elementary district, uses it as well. So I reached out to both an administrator at both of those buildings just to talk to them about it. Say, hey, what is the program? How do you feel about it? What do you get out of it? And everybody I talked to had great things to say about it. What it does is uses basically every public domain accessible, and it can verify whether or not the information provided to our district is legit or if it's highly questionable. And so what they're seeing is a significant increase in people who are claiming they live somewhere, and then when they put it into the program and they run hundreds of thousands of checks across the thousands of people that we put in there, that not everybody seems to live exactly where they're claiming they to be living. So the idea behind this would be, first this year we would take we have 1,500 investigations, I guess, queues that we can do, and we would run everybody through it the first time, and we would get an idea of exactly how bad we really are right now as a school district. And so then we can kind of direct some of our investigation moving forward. The big plan is in July, when we open up the actual residency, we can have a group of people that we know have lived in Beecher forever. And instead of having 1,000 people come in every single year to talk to the ladies and do all this, that we can almost bypass that protocol, and we can focus on 200 to 300 people that this program is saying, hey, you might want to watch these. These are the kind of the red flags. Because Ms. Flickley, I know you live in the community, you've lived here for a decade. It's silly for the 11th year for you to come and go, yep, still live here. There's my stuff again. This is me for 30. And what we can then do is once registration kind of gets underway, with the help of Mr. Duncan, on August 1st before school starts, we can run a quick the program one time, and now the school hasn't started yet, we can now kind of get those red flags right away, and we can provide information to those families saying, hey, you've been red flagged, school hasn't started yet, we need additional information from you. So this is really trying to find the people who are claiming to live here, who don't live here, and who are kind of absorbing the taxpayer money that you guys are spending on those students. So, and if you really can just take care of one situation, you've paid for this program in itself. It's $768 a month, and there's a 1-year commitment to it. And in a year, if it didn't work out, it's $9,000 I think is really easily spent to do the taxpayers right. If it works out, fantastic. We now have a residency program, and we have a way to start making sure that people who we educate are Beecher kids.
Who does this now? Who is in charge of, is it just when you?
Of residency checks?
Is there like a,
It
is it
is.
just the secretaries who just take it and then? Is that
So a
something
lot of
like
times what happens if we send out low food balances out to people, if it's kickback saying nobody lives here.
So just the things that you notice
Yep.
is what? So no one's?
Yep,
Okay.
or a random person calls and says, hey, just want to let you know this person drops this kid off in front of my house every single day. I don't think they live here.
It's kind of just by chance we're figuring these out, or this will tell us ahead of time.
I mean, these use the Motorola cameras that are on garbage cans, are on garbage trucks, can tell you, are part of this program. They can tell you where people sleep at night. Well, I'm sorry, where their cars are parked at night. I don't know if they sleep there, but, so. It's quite a lot of information. It made my head explode, well, figuratively.
So right now, we don't actively search for these red flags. There's just if it comes up or
Correct.
something, or they find something's not right, but this system will alert us to anything that may be.
This system will allow me to push a button and do the work of 40 people.
So $678 for 12 months?
Per month.
Per month.
I think it's
Yeah,
786.
so-
It's in my
right.
report.
Yeah.
I have a problem. I transpose numbers on occasion. I apologize.
Is it like the whole year, or is it just the school year?
No, it can be run over the summer. It's 12 months. It's, yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
So would it help, like, I don't know, in a situation?
Anything you say is, the answer is yes. Is it gonna help with manpower when it comes to Katie and Kara during residency in our elementary, high school, and junior high secretaries? 100%. If they're focusing on 300 residencies and not 1,300 residencies, manpower alone is paid for a lot of that.
Well, that and the amount of time to investigate that
Yep.
we've even spent just on one with admin, you,
Yep.
SRO, everything. I mean,
And if I send it
if
that,
you're investigating, it's
How
driving
much
by
does
the
it
house.
cost if we have to investigate find one now?
So last year, we spent about $7,100 on investigations
Okay.
and the process. So for a couple of, and yeah, and the,
Well, and we've had some residency issues previously as well.
correct.
As I was gonna say, I mean, I don't know if you can say, is this a major, like, is this money gonna, like, for how many people we may have not in our district who aren't supposed to be, is this going to?
Well, you have to think, amount you pay per kid is what do we have, almost 12,000?
Your price per
11,
pupil is
8?
$14,000.
Oh, it's up to 14 now.
Yeah.
So that's how much, if you have someone that's not
If
in
I have one
district.
person, oh yeah,
they-
it's already-
Yeah,
okay.
$14,000 is
That
what
is
they're taking
paid
from
for itself.
taxpayers' money.
And-
But
and
we do have a residency.
I would say this is one of the
Concern.
largest growing concerns that I would have.
Yeah,
And-
Okay, so it is a concern, like,
And
I
and
hear
taxpayers of
things,
Beecher,
but I don't know.
100% have a right to
Okay.
to know who's in their schools and making sure that their tax dollars are going to kids of
To the,
Beecher.
to the people who pay
And Power
taxes.
School
Yes.
says verified. Like when I go in my Power School at work and it has the kid's address, it'll say check verified. So I'm, you know, if the kids say something, I can look, oh, yeah, well, they are verified. So maybe they're just whatever. And it'll say.
Oh, from that program?
Yes, like
Oh, okay.
that's new from a few years ago. We didn't use it. We have, it verifies. So anybody
Yep.
who's got that Power School access in the district can see that. So if something's not verified, then, you know, there's.
And is it like a year-to-year contract, so if we try it for a year and it's like, you know, we found one, it's.
Yeah, so it's a 1 year from, well, it'd be, now, if you sign it in November, it'd be through November of next year, and then, correct, it'd be a yearly renewal.
Which would kind of be good doing it in the middle of the school year, 'cause technically you get 2 school years out of it.
Yeah,
We
that's
check this
the-
year, yeah, we
yeah.
check this year, and then we can check before
Yep,
next
that's
year.
the plan. Do it
So
in
you
an
get 2
initial
You could
school
just
years.
impile everybody down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep, doing an initial check, and then, once we start that registration process, probably, a lot of this is gonna be also on Joe Duncan being able to import all that stuff. I haven't looked at Joe yet, he doesn't know that. Hey, Joe. But yeah, then like I said, this summer, doing that check, find out who are our, I don't know, core sounds like a bad word, because then people are like, well, I've looked, the people that we know for a fact,
Yeah.
have lived here for a while, that group says, you know what, they've been here since 2001, they live in Beecher. We can now send a letter to them. Joe, we have to figure out how to do this. We send a letter to them and say, hey, your registration, please just provide it, please fill out the online form.
Yeah.
Congratulations, you've been, streamlined, or
Yeah.
you've been cleared, I like that. And
TSA
then-
pre-check.
And if someone happens to live there for 20 years, then moves, will that pick up?
100%, because like one of the things it checks is your B&B records, so it finds out where you've registered your cars, where you, these are all Equifax, I mean, these are all,
Yeah, it's a little easier than just having a bill in your name. Because you can get a bill in your name at any address. I could do your address tomorrow.
and one of the guys at the table used to use whatever program the TSA used, and that's Lex something. Can't remember what it is.
I was gonna say, no one's here now.
He went from that program to this program, and he goes, this is better than that. Not that TSA isn't very thorough.
So that it helps in investigation with our readers, our license plate readers.
Yep. And so now I can print out, this is all the information that we have, and now I can actually hand a packet to National Investigation, save that a whole lot of time, and say, please do a surveillance for us, as opposed to do all the background for us.
Yeah.
And then we're not spending $7,000 on that.
Yeah, on one.
So how many investigations have we done recently?
We had one last year.
We did one, I think we did.
We had the one that went.
Well,
Yeah, we've had,
That
over
was
the last
for
few
large
years, we've
children.
had a few that we've sent letters to, and they've naturally taken care of themselves. And we've had a couple that, we had one that actually went through the full process of it.
Yeah.
What's the full process? Like if they don't?
Lawyers,
Lawsuit.
hearings, no lawsuit, but lawyers,
But, yeah,
hearings.
yeah, we had to go through a.
ROE got involved.
Gotcha, okay.
But it's a very drawn out process. and-
Yes.
Yeah.
I was hesitant at first just because like technically we're not operating in the black financially, so trying to figure out if it
Mhm.
was, the cost was justified, if we should wait till we're out of the red. But it sounds like it would be a good investment.
Well, because yeah, even if we check now and there's some, they have so long, by next year, like you said, you'll know for sure, say we have 10 kids that they can't prove. Well, if they can't prove before school starts, 10 times $14,000, that's how much we save.
Yeah, plus if we do it.
And like you said, if we try it and if nothing happens,
It's more
we don't get
bang
any
for the buck.
kickbacks, which I find very hard to believe. But if we don't, then we know, okay, we don't need to review it. I mean,
Yeah.
it's just not worth it for us. Okay. So I need a motion to approve the purchase of the Clear Residency Verification Software.
So moved.
Second.
Hanson,
Yes.
Belt,
Yes.
Flores,
Yes.
Whitman,
Yes.
Yurchenko.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Okay, and then we have repairs for bus 17. Is this a different bus than the bus? Oh,
Believe it or
of
not,
course
this is our second
Of
oldest
course it
diesel. Yes. They found antifreeze in the oil, and I heard somebody say, ooh, yeah, Solo's got to figure it out over there. That's no bueno. That is very, very bad. So they took it over, and I mean, this is not something an in-house mechanic can take care of. This is a bus that is on routes all the time. This is something that is, quite frankly, just needs to be done. If it wasn't $7,000, if it was $4,999, I would have approved it myself, but I have a cap of $5,000. It's one of
You
the,
really don't like that cap, do you? Every time he brings it up. So, how did this happen?
it's a diesel bus that just is 17 years old and.
Oh, so it's one of the older buses?
Oh, yes,
Okay,
it's a
okay.
se-
That's why I wanted to
it's the
make
second
sure, I was
oldest
like,
one.
if it was one of the new,
It's the
Okay,
second
it
oldest
is the
one in our
older
fleet.
Okay, yeah, because we only have a couple of old ones really left, right?
Right, this is one
Yeah,
of those,
okay.
yep.
That's why I wanted to
Um,
make sure, I was like, we don't have very
and-
many old ones.
And when we get to the process of buying a new one, this would still be, then be transitioned into a sub bus.
Okay.
So we're not going to put, and like I said, it's $7,600, we're not gonna put $7,600 and then just trash it. So,
Alright.
I'm sorry. Hey, John just told you that transportation's the hardest thing to figure out.
Well, like I said, I mean, there's not very many of the old ones left, so.
Correct.
Need a motion to approve the repairs for bus 17 for $7,489.
So moved.
Second.
Belt,
Yes.
Flores,
Yes.
Whitman,
Yes.
Yurchenko.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
Does anyone have any, I guess, questions or comments on the parade joint agreement with the village, and who else did we join for it?
So it was, Mr. Boy came with me, and then the police department there, fire department was there, village
Okay.
was there, and EMA were all there. And so they kind of, everybody had a long conversation about how we can both make sure we continue to honor kids, which is what it's about, but also make sure that, there's some kind of set routine, so
Yeah.
everybody knew what to expect. Because there seems, even the fire department say, people would come back, we'd have our sirens going, and people would be dialing 911 because they didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So this kind of streamlines everything, lets people know, hey, if you want to set up, where the route's gonna be, the village is aware of times, police is, it just cleans up all that communication area that we've had for years.
Is there, so a lot of these state tournaments, people don't come home till late at night. Obviously, and I know that's some of the concern. Can we just do it the next day so that it'll save, because I know even the athletes, they're exhausted, they want to go home, and there'd be, more people would be out there if it's at a time where people can do it.
And so the answer to that is that's 100% a possibility. This last one, which was the softball, the only reason it came back so late is because of, was it a weather issue? They're not even looking at it. There was a weather issue that pushed it up.
Right.
Had they been on the Saturday it was supposed to, or the Sunday it was supposed to, it would have been a 5 o'clock comeback.
And it was a.
But could you have pushed it to like, say, you know what, forget it, let's just do the next day? Like, can you do it like a last minute change? Like, hey, like coach, like, let's just.
So if we have that situation, we'll know in advance that, hey, this game isn't supposed to start till 6 o'clock at night, and it's in.
So it just
it's
will
moved
already
to
put
normal.
out there, it'll
So
be
they're
that
already out
day.
there late. I mean, yeah, as long as I would probably say we can't be coming back the day of and be like, hey, just want to let you know it's 10 o'clock, we're gonna do it tomorrow, but as long as we have a schedule in place, 100%, they'll be
This
very
is more
accommodating.
the route is the biggest.
Right.
Making sure that.
I just didn't know if that
Rather than
needed to
sirens.
be in there
Yeah.
as well.
Yeah, at
because
certain
I know-
times, no siren. Oh.
Yeah.
Whenever there's a parade done, this is what the plan will be. And so quite frankly, as long as we tell Bob Heim when the parade is, he's been.
When it is.
Yep, he's been great about making sure that he gets his people ready to
And
go.
then so who would decide when it is? I know it has nothing to do with the parade route, but like,
Probably Brandon or myself or
okay.
Mr. Meyer or Dr. Kwasny. Not Miss Black, we'll never let her know.
She doesn't have any.
See?
I just know people would rather, I mean, it's sad, I know it's last minute, think about would have rather have done it the next day because just people would have celebrated.
Well, I mean, I think that we're so used to, this is a tradition. And
Correct.
And it should be celebrated, and that's great.
Yeah.
But I also get the feedback, you know, from people who have been involved in the parades, and then it's like, oh, we're not gonna do the sirens, and oh, that's not much fun, and there's not people out, you know, out at 11:30 at night. So I really wish that there was a better way, and maybe this can be worked on to celebrate, really, like, more as a community event. I know, like I said, this is tradition, but it would also be nice that if we could have something more through the, you know, throughout the community as well. So, involve the community.
Yeah.
Okay, so I need a
Right.
motion to approve the parade joint agreement as submitted.
So moved.
Second.
Held.
Yes.
Flores.
Yes.
Flickling.
Yes.
Diachenko.
Yes.
Hanson.
Yes.
Motion carried.
I also like to point out the village lawyer put all that together. It was not our lawyer, so it did not cost us a dime. You're welcome.
Other discussion items. So first on the we have fiscal year 23 tax levy.
So I provided you guys the document. Again, that is not going to be approved until December. I did have a board member call and say, hey, can you kind of run me through this? So I want to make sure everybody knew or kind of understood what that was. That is the certificate of the tax levy. So when we actually do a formal submission, that is what goes to the county. That's simply saying under each one of the levies, how much we are asking for. And so some of them are capped, some of them are not. The ed fund is not capped. Some of the others, like IMRF, Social Security, those are what we have to pay. Your tort is capped, things like that. So reality, you kind of project what your budget's gonna be, and then you levy for it, and those are the preliminary numbers. They could change just a little bit over the next month if EAV changes a little bit, or if something happens to where I say, oh shoot, I need an extra $50,000 into this program, so I might adjust those just a little bit before the December levy hearing. You will need a December tax and truth and taxation hearing, even though the referendum did pass, and the community knows the taxes are going to go up, you still need to have one because it's more than 5%. But I voiced my opinion with Will County. I think it's a little silly that the referendum is kind of what they voted for, but we'll make sure it's taken care of.
Okay. And that'll be before the next board meeting, probably, like just.
Yep, you'll, kind of like you did with the budget hearing, you'll start the board meeting, and then you'll have a
Do
truth
it.
and taxation hearing. I'll do my presentation, allow for any potential public comment, you'll close the hearing, and then you'll open up your general board meeting, and then you'll approve the levy as presented.
Okay. Superintendent Wellness Committee update, you kind of already talked about that, but do you have more on it?
A little bit different than the thing I mentioned
okay.
earlier, but no, that's a subset of it.
Yeah.
It still is. So board policy 690 is every 3 years you have to present to the board how you are doing to make sure that policy is being followed and updated as needed. And so I created a wellness committee. It had Ms. Packus and Ms. Irwin, Ms. Danula, Hawk, somebody else. We're all in myself. We're all in the committee. We kind of went through line by line. Not only is this just going to be the policy committee for this particular thing, but also they're kind of my district-wide. How can we make wellness a thing that's more supported across the district? So as we went through there, we indeed have some kind of physical activity every day, as promised. The nutrition portion of it, Arbor Management takes care of. In January, they're actually going to create a menu item that you can QR code, and you actually can find all the nutritional value of their menus. That will start in January. Once that is up and running, we'll communicate that with the community. In terms of the support, like the additional commitment of wellness to our school district, on the January 8th wellness, our January 8th, say it again?
Teacher Institute.
The Teacher Institute Day, we're actually going to make that a wellness day for the staff. So we're bringing in yoga, bringing in meditation, bringing in things like that. We're having EVC come out and do blood testing for our staff if needed. So really, we're trying to make sure our staff stays healthy, and we're going to be using that day to embrace that. The one thing we're still working on is a share table. We're trying to get that cleaned up a little bit, and then once we have the ins and outs of the share table. The problem is with Arbor Management, they're not prepackaged meals, so you can't put a thing of carrots on the table and then kids take it as needed. We're able to do that with the milks, keep them on ice, and then afterwards we have to probably dispose of those. But once we have that plan figured out, we'll consolidate all of the updates, and then we'll put it on the website for the public display, which is the last piece of that policy. So other than that, we are doing a good job of making sure we're following the policy that you guys put forward.
Okay, next.
Sorry, I know it's a lot.
Soccer field.
Twofold. First one is, it's very disheartening to ask this board to put $25,000 in sod into a soccer field. And then, I understand we're a community. I understand it's a field. I understand it's not the best soccer field in the community, in the conference. But to take your golf cart across it when it's wet outside, so you put massive ruts in it because it's Halloween and it's a fun thing to do, and I have a right to do that because I'm a community member and it's my golf cart and I pay taxes here, is beyond ridiculous. It is. I'm sorry, there's no excuse about it. To go out there and practice my golf shots and take divots out of it because it's mine, I pay taxes here, is beyond ridiculous. I'm sorry, I don't mean to be rude here, but the way that the community treats that soccer field, I guarantee if you did that 40 meters to the south, and you did it on the softball field, you would have a riot in this community. But because it's the soccer field and we don't care as much about it, what is done to that field is ridiculous. So this is my one plea to the community. Please respect the soccer field that is at the high school. I understand it's not the best soccer field. I get that. But I can't ask you guys to put $25,000 of sod in it. And I can't ask the foundation and the booster club to continue to put money into it. And then we have people who just don't have any care in the world driving across and making runs. It's ridiculous. It's unacceptable. So I apologize in my passion of that, but it's not fair to our kids. It's not fair to the people who actually care about the facilities. So, along with that, I did go over in Miss Compton yesterday. The village did put, somebody asked me about the village soccer field that they're putting over at the junior high. I did actually do an assessment with Miss Compton. Mr. Kaporis did it with Miss Compton like last week. He did an assessment. It actually would be big enough. We run into some small problems. It's an east-west field. It's not north-south. East-west causes a problem because the sun comes from the west, so you'll have one always going that direction. There's a retention pond that if I kick the ball too far, and they just laid a bunch of grass seeds. So I actually talked to Mr. Connor today. In the spring, they'll be able to pull it up and mow it and find out exactly how flat it is. But there is a possibility that not this spring, but maybe the fall of the next school year, we can start transitioning over to there. Again, that would involve an IGA with the village to use that space, and then maybe have that as a practice field, so that it won't become as upset when people drive golf carts through it and use it as a pitching wedge practice facility.
Even for the actual soccer field, have we thought of some kind of, I know before we didn't have any money.
Yep.
Even putting the sod in was overstretching things.
Yep.
Fencing?
Is that something we can talk about for the future and then, you know?
So, yeah, so the thought would be is if we decide that maybe that the junior high is, now again, it's not big enough for a track, so before people go, you said you could, we're not doing a track. But if we remove it to the junior high, then obviously we'd have to figure out something over there. But if we kept it here, I would at least probably ask the Booster Club or maybe the foundation to get a fence put around it. If anything, get a fence on the north side, so people can't just easily drive through with the car call. They actually literally have to go around a fence and then really be those kind of things. So, but yeah, that would be, once we have a formal assessment in the spring, what the junior high brings, I will have ask for a plan.
Because even at the junior high, we wouldn't be able to fence it because it wouldn't be ours unless the village agreed.
Right, and we also, there's no the other problem with junior high, there's no water out there and there's no electricity at that field, so right now it's a plot of.
It's land.
So
Yeah.
that's gonna
It's
take
a plot of
quite
grass.
quite of an investment to do.
That's all it
Yes.
is.
Could you put cameras out there?
We do actually have a camera on the elementary building that faces that way, but, I mean, it happens at night, we don't have night vision, but,
It is disheartening when your kids play on there and there are holes and kids are gonna get hurt.
yep,
I mean, and then else, it's the injury factor. People just need to consider that there are 2 teams that use it, boys and girls.
yep,
So you've got 50 kids that could get hurt, plus the opposing team.
yep. Little pride is which.
Well, you wanna put money in our facilities, people want nice facilities, and you have to care for those facilities as well.
I apologize again if I seemed a little mean there, but
No.
it's a little.
Freaking equal.
And then I have a question. Did you ever hear back from ASOP on how much the sub program costs?
I did, and then I had a conversation with some people, and we have a different plan in place. Ms. Weiss is going to continue doing that, and then when Ms. Weiss decides to retire, what we'll do is, and I don't know when that is, so Ms. Weiss, if you're watching, I understand. At that time, because we won't transition to somebody else taking it over, what I'll have her, we'll do is we'll, at that time, probably ask for you guys to adopt ASOP, and then have her oversee it. She has seen a increase in subs who want to work at Beecher because of your guys' sub pay increase, so, and we've seen some people who we haven't seen before come around here, so we're seeing some positivity out of that, so.
Because we weren't looking into it just because she didn't want to do it. We're looking at it
Right.
because it would be easier to hopefully get more subs.
Right, but in talking with her, she.
It seems like we're a
Yeah.
good place, so
Yep,
maybe.
she goes, she's happy with the things that are going on, so. But it's
So
just,
open to revisiting if we need to.
Yep.
Because I don't want to get back to where we're teacher burnout or admin are in classrooms and can't do their job.
yeah, yep.
So,
And she has that personal connection with a lot of those people, so that's allowing us to keep that working.
Okay. Okay.
It's not on here, so I do apologize. I did want to, you mentioned the SRO. What they're going to do is, Ms. Belt is going to, well, I did engage with the village to do like a 1-year extension to look at the current IGA, clean it up, make sure it matches exactly what Beecher 200E wants, and then spend the next year really honing in and focusing on that to make sure that it is the program we want. That's the plan, so kind of doing another year extension, not a 3-year, the village wanted a 3-year, but to commit anything for 3 years for that amount of money, we want to make sure it's best for us. Has no reflection on Eric at all, just, you know, that was the plan from personnel, and so I currently reached out to Chief Lemming, and so he's going to give me some dates.
When we had at personnel, we had some good ideas of maybe being able to put in the newsletter like what the SRO is doing, the lessons he's doing and stuff, to make sure that the community focuses and is aware that an SRO is not a security position. He's not here to handle really traffic. He can help out with that. He's not here for discipline issues. He's here really to, you know, build a relationship with the younger children. Maybe some DARE programs, maybe some safety programs, but that's kind of what we've been lacking, and we need to make sure we have better communication and more of a thing hammered out to see if it can be successful. And if it can't, then in a year we need to have a new discussion and see what to do. So that was a takeaway. We have items for the December meeting. We have the tax levy adoption we already talked about. Is there anything else we need to add?
She's leaning this way, hold on. Where's that at?
Oh, yeah, you forgot it was Board Appreciation Month. Look
I
at
did
you,
not, it
look
was
at
in my
you.
board, it was in my, 100% was in my board report. So, before we dismiss, November is Board Appreciation. So, Katie, not me,
I forgot it until the moment she ruled. I was like, that's what she was saying.
Katie did us a solid and she went out and got us
Pass
a
it
little,
down.
I can walk back. So a little gift bag, I'm gonna
Thank
tip
you
over
for all
here.
you do, thank you.
So thank you ladies for
Thank
everything you
you.
do. You are appreciated. I'll make sure Ms. Mazurik and Mr. Herman get theirs when we see them. So thank you so very much. Thank you.
Give us a,
Oh, it kept,
As my mom says, you can't have anything nice.
For the upcoming dates, we have the school board conference next weekend.
This weekend.
This weekend? Oh, see, I'm
Yep.
way off. Hate to pass. November's going week. Yes. December 11th is our truth and taxation hearing. Do we have to schedule sometimes a policy meeting to go through the press plus?
Yeah, when I reach out to Ms. Mazurik, please provide that to her. Give her some other information. I'll find out when she wants to have that 112.
Press plus.
It's a busy holiday season, so there's a chance we'll do our best to get it done before the December board meeting, but we'll definitely have it before the January board meeting. Have that 112.
Press plus.
It's a busy holiday season, so there's a chance we'll do our best to get it done before the December board meeting, but we'll definitely have it before the January board meeting.
Do we need?
Uh-oh.
wow.
Fire one out.
Must be the new school.
You did approve the. Well, I think that is a good place to.
Yeah, we don't have anything, so we can just motion to adjourn, then we're not.
Yep, you guys are
Any
good.
only issues. So, we don't need a motion. All in favor of adjourning our November board meeting, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, there
Did
we
I
go.
get a motion? Did I miss it there?
I just made a.
Oh, okay, you
I
just
had a motion.
decided.
I just did
Okay.
all.
Was there a second? You still need a
I
second.
need a second.
Who made the
Second,
motion?
second.
Floor, motion was made by Ms. Bell, seconded by Ms.
Gotcha.
Flores.
That was kind of funny.
All right, we're good.
Okay.
And it is 7:00.
And our emergency lights worked, I saw it. We knew where the exit was, Mike Peters.
Yep.